Here's a preview of this week's episode.
As he talks about cheating on me, I gotta look like a bad bitty. I can't come in there with no fedora on my head. And if you look at her Instagram, she seemed a little off. I just didn't want y'all to look at that Instagram. Okay,
I sent y'all the thing.
That Instagram was very concerning. Like I was
so concerning,
at a loss. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Kinda Adulting podcast, where we talk about all things affecting kinda adults. I'm Simone.
I'm Elise.
And I'm Jordan.
Jordan.
What?
Jordan is still delayed.
It was a little delayed, but it was better.
Good. I'm letting you have time this week. I'm supposed to talk right up after you.
Yes.
I'm Jordan. No. Anyways, how's everybody week?
It's straight. Well, it's actually, someone go first, actually.
I was going to say, my week's been fairly good, fairly chill, which has been nice. I've been multitasking during the day. You know, I really appreciate those days. But I was going to say, what I was about to tell Jordan earlier, right? So I'm back on like Hinge, right?
Ooh.
And no, it's really nothing like that. But like this guy that I've been texting, he's just very interesting. Like the way he texts is very interesting. But regardless, I was telling him about my job, and then he was like, I was telling him like I work in loans or whatever, and he's like, let me read y'all the message actually, because I felt like I was getting a test, like literal like finance test. Sounds busy for sure. Do you get any insight on the trajectory of rates for the next 3 quarters? I was like,
what?
I was like, what type of damn question? I was like, I mean, even if I did get insight, I probably can't tell you, like, for real. And then 2, like, that's not what I work in.
He was trying to get like, in on some deals, on
something. Trades. Or he was, I don't know what was going on, but I was like, what type of question is this? So
that's wild.
I know. I was like, is that not a crazy question? Maybe I was tripping. Like I just really couldn't tell.
Illegal. I don't know.
I know. I was like, is this insider trading? Like, am I gonna go to jail for telling you this?
Yeah.
I've had a pretty eventful week. I've done a lot of changes. I am getting a new project in a week and a half, which is really bittersweet. I did want to leave my employer. I did want something new, but I told them 45 days for a transition period. And then I got an email on Wednesday saying your last day will be like next Friday. And like it's hard because I didn't think I was gonna have to do that so soon. And like being a consultant, being on the bench, like when you're not staffed on a project, right? You're not making the company money, but they're still paying your salary. So it's like the best place to be. And so it kind of caused me a lot of stress. I'm a stressor person. So in fact, I only have a week and a half to like network and find like a new position. Like it's really like finding a new job. It's like you have to use your network. You have to start interviewing. You have to figure out what you want to do. You also don't want to be like on the bench for too long because then you don't really have like options. But, it's something that I did want. So I stressed out for maybe like 20 minutes. And then I was like, I have no more stress in me. I've been like stressed this whole entire time. Like I have no more energy on this project to exude about stress. So I stressed out to like these 2 older people I know on the team, like not on my team, like in the company. And they were just like, it's for the better. You'll be okay. And I was like, I'll be okay. Positive vibes, right? Like I don't know where I'm going yet. But I'm putting positive vibes out there. And yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm feeling. And that was big. I also went to therapy today. And I was telling my therapist, I was like, I feel like, I haven't changed. Like I think about a year ago, right? Today, like, I feel like I haven't changed. Like I'm in the same apartment. I'm so single. I'm with the same job, right? I'm just like, I don't know if I'm really a different person than I was a year ago. And I feel like that I wasted a year of my life. And then she pulled up like our session from a year ago today and was like reading about what I was talking about then. And she's like, you have grown, you have made the changes. Yeah, they're not tangible that you can see, but like you're better about your childhood trauma, right? You're kind of letting go of that from your parents. Like you're able to, not need validation from people for your pain. Like, your pain. You don't need people to say it to apologize for it. And I feel like a big lesson that I learned an epiphany that came to me this weekend was like realizing I don't need each time people have wronged me in my life, right? I always really wanted an apology. I really did. And then when I get the apology, I realized now it didn't make me feel any better, right? It didn't make me feel anything better. It made me feel like, yeah, that was messed up that happened to me. So a lot of changes. I'm probably gonna cry next Friday because I've been the same people for almost 2 years. And I grew up here. Like I learned a lot of hard lessons, but I grew up. I was on a small team. My coworkers are my same age, right? My mentee, I told her, she started crying, like seriously crying. And I was like, it's fine, right? Like you're going to be good without me. But it's scary. I'm terrified. I'm like, go to a whole new place, whole new team. No, not, I don't know what to expect. Like, is it going to be better or worse? So, but my mantra for the month that I said in the podcast before is nothing changes if nothing changes. So I'm taking it all in stride. I have a trainer where I work out 3 times a week at 6:30 in the morning, which is crazy to me, but I actually kind of low-key enjoy it, which is wild. And I'm getting a new job and other stuff is coming. Yeah. A new job at my job.
I was about to ask, is it like you have to search within the company? But
you do, but it's really about like literally like finding a new job. You have to network, you have to interview, to send your resume out, right? It's not like, it's very much finding a new job within your job, and it's not always given. You have to really kind of go out there and like use your network, use your skills to find it. And then also today I was on a whim on a roll. I was on the call. It's called anti-racism on my company, and I just got irritated because I felt like they made no progress. And I called the executive director, who's way high up. I pinged him. I was like, "Hey, can we talk for 10 minutes?" And I basically was like, "I think all that you guys are doing is pointless." And he was like, "And I feel like no one's being honest with you." And I was like, levels of oppression. I was like, when the company posts a LinkedIn post about racism, that does nothing for me. I don't go on LinkedIn to read that. Like, doesn't make my day better. It just make me feel better as a Black person on the company. And I low-key kind of aired him out. And then after I was like, oh my gosh, this man is so high up. He was like, can I talk to your counselor about this? Like, it's just been really helpful. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I just told him all his ideas were dumb. But I feel like he needed to hear it because no one else was going to tell him this stuff, or because they're, scared of him. But I was like, my counselor going to call me and be like, girl, you can't just be pinging anybody to air out your grievances to everybody in the company, especially people who are below the CEO.
Maybe you should go into diversity and inclusion, because that's literally all you've been talking about at your job. Like, that is not even a part of your job.
It's not, but it's like I am on like the board, but I do not want diversity and inclusion. That stuff is hard. That's hard. You need to have answers. I don't have answers to everything. That's hard. No, I don't got it in me. That PowerPoint deck took me out.
Oh my goodness.
No, yeah.
But my week was okay. I've been kind of overwhelmed lately, really. Just between like still job searching, still trying to find or like do podcasts, finding the balance between all of that. And then like on top of that, my roommate's leaving and my apartment was like, yeah, you have by the 30th to tell us whether you're going to renew or not. And a lot of people don't know what they're going to be doing in 2 months, and I don't either. So it's like kind of hard to get something for real this early. But yeah, and then my taxes, I haven't done my taxes yet. It's just a lot of things I have to do, and it's just like trying to find the balance to doing them all. Like, I feel like with podcasts, it's so many like deadlines and stuff to do things, but then like my job search and stuff, like I don't have hard deadlines because nobody else is like waiting on me, but also I can't just be doing this no job life forever. So it's just like, I'm trying to find a balance. I'm trying to get there.
What's funny is you guys haven't filed your taxes and I've already received both refunds.
Well, we can understand that. But that's why I wanted this episode to originally be about taxes. We're going to do it next week because I'm going to pull up a tax quiz. Because, Simone, you were saying some stuff and, it wasn't making sense from our write-off. I was like, we'll get money back. I'm like, you don't get money back from write-offs.
So I never said you would get, first of all,
You did.
No, I never said you.
Jordan, back me up.
I never said you would get money back. I said that it was a write-off. I said that business expenses are a write-off. I never said you get money back.
We would get money.
And two, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about because neither one of y'all had any businesses to be added to y'all's tax refunds. So really, I don't understand what's even taking that long. Y'all ain't got no assets. Y'all got houses y'all got to put in there.
No, I got a car in my name, Simone. Don't try to be.
Girl, that car is not an asset for one. We know that. And two, how's that delaying your tax refund or your tax filing?
I just feel like
I'm being attacked. Get it together. Y'all better go sign up for a TurboTax or something.
I feel like I'm being attacked, and it's not my fault.
What'd you use, Simone? What'd you use? I use
TurboTax. It's very easy.
Yeah, I use TurboTax generally, but my mom said that she was going to do my taxes.
I feel like I could understand if you guys had like houses and major investments that you had to like, you know, disclose or whatever the case may be. What's y'all's issue?
Nothing.
Anyways,
okay.
Just proceed.
Then the other thing I was going to say was it was very funny because I really thought I was losing my mind because I heard you both say these things already and I couldn't remember where you said it. I was like, did we record? I was like, I literally remember them saying these things, but I don't know where they said them on. But I forgot you guys are on Instagram Live yesterday.
Yeah, I was like on Instagram Live. Other news, we move on to the adulting fact. I think I have found the one. This boy from the Hinge. He DM'd me, right? Well, he matched me, and he got chains. He got all gold teeth. He doing the fan of the $100 bills. Oh my goodness. And he said, "What's good, Ma?" So I know y'all try to play like I wasn't gonna get a chain, haters, but he said, "When we meeting up," and I gotta figure out. I gotta
get my chain. Your chain gonna fall off like Cash or like Dream Dolls did in that club. I know you've seen the video.
I didn't see the video, but he also
her chain fell completely off in the club. That's gonna be Elise.
He also had a photo with Joe Budden, and I was like, toxic, but I don't need a relationship. I just need a chain and a cute YSL purse. He's an amateur rapper. And I think, I don't remember his name, obviously, but I think, should I go on the date or not?
So, no. Anyway, no, do not go on the date. I sound judgment. No, do not go on the date. But we wanted to move on to what we really want to talk about, which was, I am a warrior for the Lord, okay? You might see army green, but I see warrior for the Lord, okay? Or you might see a bonnet. Hold on, I have it. Where is it? Where's my phone?
We don't know, Simone.
My good sis said, where you might see a bonnet, I see a helmet of salvation. Okay? My sis was preaching.
That whole situation is just so messy now. I just feel like, are they just doing this for publicity at this point? Because
no, I want you to go look at her Instagram.
I know. She's definitely very much so being herself in that video. But
I watched
how would they okay, so the video of him commenting on the video and he's like talking about himself like, yeah, like I think he's being a good person because men try to run away from their problems, but he's standing in it. Like, shut up. You're laughing at your wife in this video. Shut up. Like, shut up.
What really threw me off, Jordan, was watching him speak in the car and talk about Derek Jackson. I said, when I know lie, I had to tell you, because I don't know who this man was from Adam before.
I didn't know who he was either. Yeah.
I literally had to click out a few times and look at the comments to make sure I was watching Derek talk, because I literally was like, wait, he said Derek again. Is this Derek talking? Why the hell does he keep saying Derek? He's talking about himself. And then I watched the video again and I realized he said, for the video purposes, I'm going to be speaking in third person. Why would you do that? Wow. That is so confusing. Wow. I'm sitting here watching Derek talk about Derek. And
you should do it. You should say, Simone saying.
This man was confusing the hell out of me. I was like, is this Derek right now? Like, why would someone do that?
And did you see? Oh, go ahead.
I watched the camo video. And I used to go to Sunday school, right? As a child. I watched that whole 6-minute video and I understood nothing. I was like, Did I miss a day of Sunday school? Did I miss, like, I do virtual church, every other Sunday. I try my best. My grandma called me, but I was in that whole thing, and I'm like, I'm not following any logic here. What is the logic? What is happening? She's like, I'm in the blood. I'm like, I understand the blood, but how does it relate to right now? Because how does it relate to right now? I don't, my brain, and I was like, I guess I need to call somebody. We need to call TD Jakes, because I honestly could not comprehend from A to B, A to C, D, because then you don't call it a bonnet. I'm a bonnet connoisseur. We all wear bonnets, Simone sometimes does, but like we all, mostly wear bonnets. And that was not a bonnet. So I was getting confused.
No,
I was like,
why there looking like Huey P. Newton? Okay, talking about that.
It did look like a beret.
It was a beret. She had a whole beret on her head. And then
make your hair frizzy,
it was two different berets in each video.
There's two different ones?
Yes. And if you go look at her Instagram, clearly, okay, people was mad that people was talking about her appearance, and that wasn't right, okay? But, if I'm going to talk about stuff about people, I'm going to talk about things they can change, okay? Because I ain't going to talk about your face when you can't do nothing about that. Now, sis could have came a little stronger, especially if I'm going to sit there and hold my husband's hand as he talks about cheating on me. I got to look like a bad bitty. I can't come in there with no fedora on my head. Yeah. And if you look at her Instagram, she seemed a little off. I just want y'all to look at the Instagram. Okay.
I see y'all the thing.
That Instagram was very concerning. Like, I was
so concerning.
At a loss.
And she had one of her posts, literally the first one said, I killed my dad. And I read the whole thing and I was like, what? You didn't kill your dad? Like, and I was like, no. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, no, you didn't. Don't feel bad about but disregard. I do feel like Jordan, and we talk about this a lot, that man, Derek, is that personality type we always talk about. Yeah, probably. And I don't know how to, but Jordan describe it. It's like those boys who are our age. Huh?
Is he a narcissist?
It's not even narcissism. It's like
literally.
He is, but it's different. Jordan, give him context. Because there's people like this.
I'm trying to say this without like being too specific and without saying names. But it's just like the guys that like, a lot of people like them, right? They're very much people. Okay, they're not people persons, but they like a lot of people like them. And like they do a lot of different things. And they don't necessarily, they're not really that good at it, but people like them. So they kind of just like pushed up into the world, and then they kind of leave it and they do something else. They jump to another thing. I don't know if I'm explaining this right,
but they're very boastful, right? The type of people that are like, you're going to see me at all times. Like they talk more than they actually do, right? People come up and give sermons in class about something, but be completely wrong, but are super like, righteous, post on Bible verses, trying to be everybody's big bro, but needs a big bro themselves. And they're reminding those people who are our age, who me and Jordan know those names, who say nothing, but just be speaking a good game. And then if they're not loved or admired, then it's bad, right? But anything that they do wrong, they have to spin it to say, oh, someone's working against me, the devil's working against me. It's like, maybe you just need to be a nicer person, a better person. Maybe you're just, weird, like in a bad way.
And one of those people that like use the people that they are around and then immediately forget about them after the situation is done. Like, do not
so use
them
for clout, right?
Don't remember their faces. Like, who are you? Nice to meet you. And I'm like, I've been to you. What do you? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I definitely use people for clout, and then we'll just use you for clout, and then move on because clout is everything to them in this imaginary world. And when they don't have clout, and Derek Jackson, they have to find a way to somehow reclaim their clout when it's in danger of some sort,
making this whole announcement
and think they're all geniuses and innovative. But yeah, that really, I truly did not understand. I didn't understand any of it, and I was more about that she didn't have a bra on in the video. And I was like, if my husband would ever do me like that, I hope y'all would just tell me to leave, because I could understand the hair not being together, but you could give me 5 minutes to go find a little TJ Maxx sports bra to put on. Just let me do that.
Just a lot of things.
I wouldn't let you put that video up. I would
have deleted that picture with that suit on before we did it as well. With that two-piece.
She had a two-piece on? Oh, she did have a two-piece on. I did see it. I did. Oh, man. Oh, man.
You know how we talk about people deleting their controversial tweets? I would have deleted that one. There's probably a few more I would have gone to, but that's not my
So
Anyway, that was a great little topic. You know, that was just something to see this week. And honestly, even though I do not condone bullying, them tweets was funny as heck. It is what it is. There, you know, threw your family under for your gain, okay? Because you laughing in the comments with other people. I hope she get out.
That's why this pastor matched with me, this little youth pastor matched with me on Hinge. And I was like, listen, I'm Christian and all, but I can't have you quoting me when I'm just trying to, you know, go through the Popeyes line about something that yell at somebody.
Yeah, like, you can't take a simple color pattern and turn it into a warrior for the, you know, a warrior for the Lord. Like, it's army green, you know, it's just army green. So anyway, each week we give you guys not always peer-reviewed adulting factor tweet from Chloe and Hallie's internet.
Okay.
And again, don't come for us if the fact is wrong. So according to American food service provider Aramark, nearly 80% of Gen Z people, I guess, plan to go meatless 1 to 2 times per week, citing health and environmental concerns.
I go meatless, but not because of the environment.
Yeah, Jordan be eating the veg and food, as my grandfather calls it, because he can't say vegan.
Vegan.
Yeah,
I definitely did have vegan.
I saw you eat some cauliflower yesterday. I said, that's her meal? I said, that's
yes. Curry cauliflower is bomb. I just had some more with some roasted potatoes. It's so good.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if you know, my family has always been very healthy, and I tried to be semi-healthy on my own, but then last year I went on this like huge health kick. I was working out and eating well, and like basically became pescatarian. So I feel like for me, I never really liked meat like that anyway. I only would eat chicken and maybe bacon. Like I never ate, you know, steaks or anything like that. So it really wasn't that hard for me. And now, yeah, I'm like pescatarian. I eat a lot of like vegan dishes as well. And I will break, like, I'm not super firm. Like if I'm out at a restaurant, I usually eat seafood, but like if I'm somewhere and they have bacon, I'm probably gonna eat the bacon. And I'll probably eat oxtail from like once in a while, but I don't buy chicken anymore. I don't buy anything but seafood. So I don't know. I enjoy it. Like I feel a lot lighter and cleaner most of the time, but not because of the environment by any means. No.
Okay. I be eating meat.
We know.
You know what? I love
Lisa
me some.
Eat ribs. She makes ribs and
I love some ribs, some pork chop. Listen, I just ate a couple of chicken pieces from Popeyes I went through today. What they try to? I got me some Popeyes, bacon.
Not you looking
steak. You know, I'm saying my grandpa, he kept on calling it. He said, at least you know what a vegan is? I said, what? He said, your aunt told me about these vegan people. They don't eat anything. And I said, vegan? He said, yes. And the other day I was making a smoothie because I actually do eat more healthy than I eat at home. Even though my parents work out more, they don't really eat as healthy. Like, I'm telling you, when I'm home, we maybe eat like, there's not a green vegetable for a couple of days. Like when I was home last time, I was like, Mom, we haven't had a vegetable for dinner in like 3 days. And she was like, that's true. I'm like, we should try that, you know, like eat something green. But my family's all small. So it's like, what is going on?
Metabolisms.
Yeah. And they work out, you know, but work out a lot. So, but yeah, I eat the meat. Because first of all, I don't like chewing. Eating to me is tiring.
What?
So if I eat a chicken leg, that's faster fill up than, you know, eating some cauliflower. I eat a lot more cauliflower to fill myself up than a chicken leg. So
you know what? It might take
you, and I'm gonna have you try it.
Well, the cauliflower might not fill you up as quickly, but it might keep you around a little bit longer than that chicken wing you're eating. So,
and then
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Cauliflower, you can put some onions, bell peppers. You know,
I love dishes like that.
I don't have no mushrooms in it, so you can eat it.
We'll bring you around. Clearly, the environmentalists need to come for Elise because she's.
I like the chicken. Listen, I like the pork.
Chicken on the side. Just put more.
Sometimes I feel
Listen, they said 1 to 2 times a week. So could you see yourself not eating meat once or twice a week?
She thinking a little too hard for this.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, hopefully Elise can.
I eat fruit snacks for breakfast sometimes. That's not meat.
It has gelatin.
Moving on.
Yeah. So hopefully you're here for a little while. Moving on, in the next segment, we'll have our discussion where we'll try and offer our thoughts on a topic that relates to us being in our early 20s. Stay tuned.
This week's topic was actually sparked by our listeners' responses to our episode check-ins that we do every week on our IG story starting at 6 p.m. now, Wednesdays. Real quick. But a couple weeks ago, we were doing the Work 1, Me 0 episode check-in. And I asked you guys, what are some hobbies you do outside of your work/career? And most of the answers were either running a side hustle, aka not a hobby, and still working, or it was something along the lines of like drinking with friends or watching TV, which I really don't consider to be a hobby also. So I wanted to bring up the question of like, what do you do for fun? And to discuss like catering to your inner child. Because when I was asked this, like maybe a year and a half ago, what I did for fun during a talking stage that went absolutely nowhere, I was kind of perplexed because like I spent so much time working, and any other time I was just going to happy hour with my friends or going to stadium to get some wings. But don't get me wrong, I always had a good time, but I felt like that shouldn't have been my only answer, you know? So I just wanted to start off by saying, what do you do for fun?
Yeah, I would say for me, the pandemic kind of really kicked some of these things off, whereas maybe I didn't before. Like I was spending a lot more time with myself. So I started to realize things I really enjoyed. And it really started off as just like working out. But like I really realized last summer when I was home with my mom, like I really enjoy hiking.
Mm-hmm.
So all summer, y'all would try to like, I don't know if you guys remember, but I would always be like, can't do Saturdays. Like I would go hiking with my mom every Saturday and Sunday. And we started finding new trails. And like we did a very, very treacherous one that was just like rough to say the least. And I just really realized like that's kind of something I really enjoy. Like, and so I've tried to continue it even now when it's just like me taking a walk, like a long walk or whatever. I just really I guess enjoy being outside and being active. So I started like integrating a lot of my workouts outside. I'll go to my park and do it by myself, but I really like being outside and being active. So that's like, I guess one thing I've realized, especially during the pandemic, that I would consider to be like fun to me that I do outside of work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Elise?
Yeah, Jordan asked me this question a while ago when we were like hanging out. And she asked me what I do for fun. And I was like, the podcast? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's like, she's like, what's your hobby? I'm like, this is my hobby, but this is very much work. Like, we really do work for this. Like, this is really, like, that's work. And I'm like, it is work. It's really not a hobby. But what I do for fun, I think I watch a lot of YouTube videos, right? And I'd be like, oh, that's kind of my escapism, right? And not just vlogs, but I watch like learning stuff. Like I watch people cook things. You'll make a lot of cooking videos that I'm never going to make because I eat the meat every day. But I learn a lot and I enjoy that. And also something I do, I guess for fun, that's like, I know particular to me that I am a history nerd. So like when I get stressed or overwhelmed, I go to Wikipedia or I go to a history site and I start learning about a random topic. Like I'll pick a topic, like something like look around and be like, I'm gonna learn about, like discovery of gold. And I just started reading about it all night. That makes me feel like it's weird, but it's kind of fun to me. I feel like I learned something new and it's cool. And I guess during pandemic, because Simone got me thinking, what I really enjoy, my hair looks crazy right now. Y'all can't see this, but I really enjoy doing my hair, like, doing a lot of productive styles. Like you guys know in pandemic, I was doing a different style, like every couple of weeks. Like I did twists, faux locks, sometimes I do knotless box braids. And I actually really enjoy that. And I know some people are like, it is time intensive, but I find it be my me time. Like I like putting on a TV show. Also like looking at a YouTube video, seeing a complex style and be like, I think I can do this. And I think I can figure out how to do it myself and doing it. And I think because of the pandemic, I didn't really care about going into the office, about whatever hairstyle I looked like I had. So I got really creative in what I did. But I've been thinking about it a lot more since Jordan asked me, like, what do I do for fun? Because yeah, it's hard. I think a lot of times it's just kind of like we go to work, you know, we it's the hustle, side hustle, and then you see your friends, but we're trying to say seeing your friends is not really a hobby.
Yeah.
And that is something that is different, especially in pandemic.
To just add on before Jordan goes, I think to simplify it, even though it may not be a specific activity, I really like spending alone time with myself. So that is kind of like what I would consider to be my hobbies. Like on a Saturday morning, I might go work out and then like just walk the city by myself. And I do a lot by myself. I really like that's like my, just like enjoyment time. It's just like taking time by myself and doing whatever I want to do and being on my own time. So it's like not really, I guess, a hobby, but like Elise said something like that to the point of just like spending time with yourself. That's like what I really value in outside, I guess, work time.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it, like, what do I do for fun too? And it can be like even small things, I like to sing along with the songs. Like I don't be knowing half of the words sometimes. And I know for a fact I can't sing, but I sing every time. You're not gonna shut me up. Like that's just something that I do. But it's like not necessarily something that I'm good at, but it's just something I do and I enjoy when I do it. And I really like dancing, and I've said this a couple times in the podcast. I don't know if those episodes came out yet, but I'm not gonna dance in front of nobody else, but I like to dance to myself. And what else do I do for fun? I love doing art projects too. So acrylic pours have been like one of the things that I've been doing recently. And that's really fun. And I feel like I can let my creative like self out to do that. And it's not anything that I would ever like sell, or sometimes I don't even like posting it on social media for real, because I don't want people to be like, oh, like next time you should do this. Like don't try to tell me how to do it better. I have fun with this, but yeah, and I feel like sometimes I'm like a real creative, but it's something that I don't necessarily lead with or tell people about, And just reflecting on your answers, are you happy or like content with your answer? Or are there things that you want to start prioritizing now that you have the chance to think about it?
I think that, I think I do have some things, but I think it would be great thinking more about now having this like more like structured, right? Like whether it's me doing a pottery class or doing like an art class, I think that would be good because I think it kind of makes me concentrate on something for myself. Like I would benefit from having a hobby that's like, okay, like you're gonna go to this and there's really nothing you need to do but enjoy yourself. And you kind of force that time. So I think when the world opens back up, I could definitely see myself taking a pottery class, taking an art class. I guess I can probably do that now, but thinking back to my childhood, right? And how that was and how those hobbies were very much like time slots.
Yeah.
I think I benefited from that. And I think that actually made me like, okay, like I'm gonna come back and do this week. And I'm like, this is gonna be cool. And forces me to actually like come out my day-to-day life for a moment. But yeah.
What about you, Simone?
Yeah, I would say definitely I have like a creative side that I just am not able to always figure out ways to like channel them. And as you guys know, like my mom has a art background. So I used to do a lot of art. Like when I was younger, I would paint. My parents would buy me like canvases and stuff. And like I was pretty good. I used to do jewelry and things of that sort. And so I would definitely want to pick something back up like that because and I would say like prior to the pandemic, I would do a lot of that. Like I used to sign up for free art classes and stuff in the city. And it was just like, and I was also part of like this free arts New York program where I was like working with kids, but like I was so excited, had all these things, and then the pandemic happened and that was over. And I also like was in the process of trying to become a volleyball coach because I've done that before and I really enjoyed that. Like I did it in college. So I feel like I'm privy to what my, I guess, other hobbies are, but it's just like hard to do them right now. And I think going forward, it'll be a little bit easier with the world kind of opening back up. But like, those are definitely some things I see myself doing when I have the opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Elise.
No, I was saying I think it's also important too that like you think of your hobbies outside your friends, right? So you don't attach your hobbies to your friends. So if I did a pottery class or a painting class, like I think I probably should not invite my friend to come with me and do it with me, because separating that I think is important in your 20s, because then you become so dependent on other people being present for certain things. And sometimes it's just kind of cool to like take that out for a moment and not run people who know you. But
and you don't want to be trying to get to your class and they late or they not coming that day and you feel like you can't go. I don't be waiting on nobody. Like just sign up for your class and go.
And it's funny because Elise, when you were saying that, I was like, oh, I want to do pottery too. We should do it together. But I was like, no, let me not say it, because like that can literally be like a thing where you take your time and you want to, do something to yourself. So that's why I was like, let me shut up. I'll just go to my own pottery class.
And I struggle with that. I feel like I've definitely got better in my adulthood, but before, like, well, I'm impatient. So I started doing stuff on my own. I fucking college later on, but always wanting to share experiences with people. Like I really do like sharing experiences with people. But I realize now that sometimes that could do a disservice, because for me, I'm a people pleaser by heart, like by heart. So if you're not having a good time, I'm not having a good time. And that your idea of fun should not always be your friend's idea of fun. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And like you need to do that in your adulthood, because you cannot have you the same person all the time, because that is just not okay. It's not healthy. And just it sets you up for not failure, but people move, people change their lives around.
And I'm content with like knowing the things that I want to do, but I'm not content with how I'm prioritizing them. I did the acrylic boards because like a friend asked me if I wanted to do that. And I was like, yeah, I really want to do that. But I have like this art project that I've been doing for like 2 months now, and I haven't I touched it maybe twice, and it's there. I want to do it. I have this whole envision like of what I want it to look like, and I just haven't picked it back up because I'm just like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. So for me, it's like I just want to schedule more time to do those things that make me happy. And going back to tying in with the happiness that you found as a child, what are some things that you used to do as a child that made you happy, but not things that you were necessarily like good at? Like for me, I would say like singing. I have always loved singing. And let's see.
I thought about something. That's what I was laughing.
For me, go ahead, because I still gotta think about mine, low key.
I would say something that I was necessarily good at was I was horrible at sports. My parents put me in every sport imaginable, and I knew I wasn't good at sports because hand-eye coordination was never my thing. But I did enjoy the camaraderie. I was always the funny person on the team, right? Because I know I can crack jokes, so I was always a funny one. And I enjoyed that. Like I was a cheerleader. I didn't like being a cheerleader, but I liked making people laugh. Like my like teammates, cheer squad mates. I don't know, but like, so I wasn't necessarily good at that, but I liked being around other people. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of random camps with the kids. I made a cooking camp. I did like sewing. My parents were trying to get me out the house each summer, so I did a plethora of stuff. But I think each time with me wasn't the best at it, but I enjoyed just making people laugh and being in that like space of just like, okay, like obviously Elise can't hit a ball, but I can make out chuckle. Yeah.
What about you, Simone?
I don't know, because I mean, I would say a majority of my life was sports. I won't say I was bad, like I wasn't good at sports per se. So that's a hard question for me.
Wait, I just want to make sure you're understanding though. I'm saying like you could have been good at it, but like even if you weren't good at it, was something that made you happy.
Yeah. And so, yeah. I don't know, because to be honest, yeah, go ahead, Elise.
I was going to say, I guess now Jordan's I'm more conscious of the question. I love ballet, right? I did ballet for up until I think first year of high school. I stopped because it was too much, right? But I really enjoy ballet. Like I was the only Black girl there. Like I was really into point, and I really, really loved it. And that's something that like I did not pick up a point shoe ever again once I stopped, right?
Yeah.
But it was hard, but I loved it. And that's like a hobby that I had, like an extracurricular that I think back to a lot because I just mean that actually that I was like, I'm in pain, this is hard, but I actually want to come to class each day and like push myself. And I enjoyed it. And I can't think of anything like right now in my life that I'm like, ooh, yes, this is painful, but having a bomb time, like learning and coming back, like outside of work, like something that you, for fun, you know, push yourself to do.
Yeah, I hope I answer this, but I'm still struggling because I was involved in a lot of crap, but I didn't really like most of it, to be honest, like Kumon, piano, all of that. But I'll say most people think that I can't sing, but I can actually sing. I usually am just like being obnoxiously like extra. And it's interesting when people realize they're like, oh, you can sing. And I'm like, yeah, but I have always loved singing. And actually, to the point of when I was younger, I used to beg my parents to put me in singing classes because versus piano.
Right.
Most people, I don't know if people know this, but I like played the piano majority of my life, like first through like 10th grade or something. And I hated piano. I wanted to sing. And I was like, well, can I just do both? And I don't really know what happened, but basically I never got put into singing classes. And that's always something I wish that I had gotten to do. Because like I've played different instruments, just never enjoyed it, like never enjoyed that process. But I always felt like, wow, maybe I could have not gone far because I'm not that type of singer. But I feel like I would have just like enjoyed being able to like indulge in singing classes. Yeah.
I feel about drama class. I wish I would have like taken that jump and did like acting classes. I think I did one time and I was just like very shy. But yeah, it's like having that activity is actually like something that is different. And you know, our parents forced us into all type of extracurriculars since like before we got to high school. You had to do something usually. And I think that's really not the same in adulthood. You're not saying, okay, I'm going to work, like let me join a pottery class and pay you like a couple $100 a month to go to pottery class. You're like, I'm gonna go to get drinks with that money. I'm gonna go do this. Like I'm not gonna put myself on a schedule. But looking back as a child, like that really probably helped you like break away for a moment, having a set schedule. Like I need to do practice at 7. I need to go to this at 8. Yeah.
Another thing like I kind of dropped off like was like my love for music, and it's like being a part of like creating music, like songwriting, which I was never good at because I can't really express my emotions, but I was trying anyways. I loved like playing different instruments, and I really wanted to be a producer or like a DJ or an A&R. Like those are all things that I wanted to do. Like even like, okay, I feel like in 6th grade, that's when I really started listening to like all these underground artists and stuff. And I was really like into music, into finding like who's like going to be the new next big thing. And like, just to say like, I heard them first and you should listen to these people. So it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad when people tell me like, oh, I thought you were going to be like an A&R, or like, I thought you were going to do something with music because like, you know so much about it and you love it. And I'm just like, I feel like I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what I was talking about. That's why I stopped like paying attention to it. I started doing things that I felt are more practical. And I really like kind of surrendered that. And one time when me and Elise drove back up from Atlanta, I brought my keyboard because I was just like, I want to get back into this. I have yet to touch it. No, I touched it one time, maybe 2, but it's still like I have to plan it out. Like it's not on my like radar because I'm just like, I have to do this, you know, to get paid, or I have to do this because people are expecting this from me, you know. And it's not a thing that I think about on my free time necessarily because I'm still in the mindset like of I either have to be relaxing or I have to be doing something productive, you know?
Yeah. I even think back to college, right? Like a lot of my extracurriculars, I'm saying since high school, it's really not about are you having fun? It's like, okay, this needs to be on my resume. Like this needs to be like some on my resume. And that was a big transition from like middle school. We were going to dance classes or what have you, you know, we weren't like, this is gonna be great for our resume. We're like, our parents says we have to get out the house and be active, or like we need to do something. And I think that big switch happens. And then once you kind of escape like having put stuff on your resume, you know, in high school, college. I think to kind of be an adult, you're kind of like, I just want to chill. Like, I don't want to be in nobody's time, nobody's schedule. I just want to do whatever. But I guess at the time, it does become helpful to have that built in. For me, I think structured time to say, okay, let's break away.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but did your parents or society have something to say about what you did that made you stop doing those things that you loved?
I think Simone, I was forced to do piano for a long time because it was just a good thing that I feel is just like Black families think is like, you know, very prestigious, what have you. I didn't enjoy it. They definitely wanted me to stop ballet because it was just a lot. Like I was in company and I think they wanted me to focus more on school per se. Especially because it's starting high school. So yeah, I would say maybe that's yeah, I don't know. But that's what I say. Maybe I mean I stopped because they were like, we're tired of driving you across Atlanta.
For me,
and I couldn't drive.
That's true. For me, I feel like my parents did put me in a lot of things. But they thought that I wasn't taking it seriously, or I guess I kind of act very indifferent. So like they were just like, I mean, we stopped putting you in it because you didn't really say nothing about it. Like you didn't seem excited about it. But then I think back and I'm like, no, I really enjoyed it. Like, why did I stop? You know? But I do feel like it was definitely things that I could put on my resume. Like I couldn't necessarily, I mean, I put, you know, my sewing classes and whatever on my resume, but I maybe wasn't good enough to like keep it going and to be an actual fashion designer, or maybe even to like there was no major of fashion designing, you know, in their purview, or mine really. It's not even just them. So it's just like I have to do something, like I have to be a lawyer or something like that. Simone, did you have anything to say on this one?
I would just say, like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, most of the things that I did were probably for furthering like my future. So I was like in Kumon and piano until literally high school. The only reason I was allowed to stop was because of sports and the fact that I could have potentially gotten a volleyball scholarship. That's literally the only reason I was allowed to quit, and they were interfering. So yeah, I feel like most of the things I did were basically driven by like societal hope. And I hated piano. Like I hated it. Like I used to literally, my dad used, especially in the last few years, I would not practice at all. And my dad would be like, go downstairs and practice. Like I had to practice every day. And I just hated it. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like this is so annoying. But everything I was involved in, whether it be dance, all of those things were probably societal things. And one had to make way for the other. And that's literally the only reason, like, I, you know, dropped everything for volleyball. I mean, I don't know, like, it did seem, I guess all of the things I did were very like something for my future. None of it was just like, oh, Simone likes this. Let's invest in this little jewelry making class or something, you know?
Yeah. And to be like the last question, what are some things that as an adult you see other adults do as a hobby that you also want to do? For me, I see people doing like little, what is it?
I don't know. We don't know, Jordan. What are you doing? You're leaning back.
Zip lining.
People do that as a hobby? I thought you only did that on vacation.
Just being like outside and doing adventurous stuff. I want to do that too. I was never an outside girl. I don't like trees. I don't like nature. But I want to go. I want to go on a cabin trip.
Yeah.
That's not really outside. But
I did one.
I love being outside.
I want to do hikes now and stuff. I'm not going by myself, so I need to find somebody to do that with me.
Not me. Yeah, not me.
Okay. Well, I want to be outside, and that's what I'm saying. Like, not that's what I'm saying, but since I got the vaccine, well, one half of it, I'm just like, I don't even really want to be outside in no club. Like, I want to do adventurous things. Like, I want to go to Topgolf, which I still haven't gone. I want to go to like the little iFly Center, because that one, that's the skydiving thing, but it's indoors and it don't take you up in the sky. So I just want to do things that I don't really do, like. And then also, I like the people who like cook a lot now, like that girl Bria or whatever, the air fryer girl. She be making all these desserts and stuff. She making like chicken pot pies in the air fryer. I want to create all these cute little recipes too. Like that's like an adult thing, I feel like. And then also, I want to be a bartender.
Got a lot.
I want to be a bartender on the side. Like I want to create like different drinks and stuff. I have a lot of plans for my life. Aren't jobs. But I want to do all these different things. It seems like it's fun. It's not centered around alcohol, going out to the club and having fun. That's cute, but that's not me all the time. That's me on one good Saturday. But, brunch really replaced that. Brunch is great. Brunch is perfect.
Brunch is great.
I would like to continue brunch. I let everything else go, but I would like brunching to continue. But yeah, I would agree. Like outside, I've always loved being outside, which is probably why I always have different groups of friends, because I have different groups of friends that like to do different things. I'll just say that. And a lot of things I did like in high school and like college, some of my other friends was not going to do. Like Elise was not going to be out there climbing into the hippie hole like I used to do with my other friends. Like
I was not.
But I love that type of stuff. And I realized that even more with the pandemic, when it's like you only felt safe really being outside or like walking outside. And I really like invested in that, and to realize that was like actually a hobby. But to answer your question, yeah, I just want to start doing like more art type things, like taking painting classes. Like when I was doing that pre-pandemic, I really enjoyed it. It's very peaceful. I would literally like go online and search free art classes in New York, and I would end up in the Bronx, wherever the case may be, just like trying to take this little class. And I would do it by myself, and it was just so like just peaceful. So I definitely want to do more of that, like especially from what I see on my friends and stuff doing on social media. It seems to be a common thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking about now. I see a lot of people like doing pottery classes, like I think before. I also see a lot of people, doing like running groups. I ain't about to join none of that, but doing that. But I think what I'm thinking about, like realizing is like, I know we talked about, like getting drinks with your friends is not a hobby, but I realize that I really am into like cool food and like being a foodie, right? But a lot of my friends are not into like going to dinner. Like, it's like go to dinner, go to the club and get a bottle. It's like, we're going to go to the club, it's more exciting. But I realize that I really do enjoy that, like trying different types of food and stuff. So like doing that more by myself and saying, okay, I'm gonna go to this cool restaurant that's in the news today and have that and that be a hobby. I see a lot more people doing that. I feel like before pandemic, kind of my age, just saying, okay, like is an up and coming restaurant, I'm going to go myself on a Wednesday night where I can get a reservation and just enjoy it and do that. Yeah, I think also doing museums by yourself, as I see people doing our age. But I mean, I feel like the book club, stuff like that. I feel like people are mostly in their 20s, that's what they're doing. I feel like either working out, maybe taking an art class, and then maybe trying new restaurants. I feel like it's kind of like the basic 20-year-old fake hobbies that people have.
But what are your hobbies that you want to do as an adult that you want to pick up?
I told you, I'll make a pottery class.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that those were fake ones, but those are the fake ones that you want to do also.
I mean, not fake, but just like, I just feel like they're like, again, like I think going back to like saying hobbies when you're a kid, I feel there's a lot more diverse. And I think in adulthood, it kind of can be put into 3 different categories, better for worse, right? I think a lot of people, it's like 3 different major categories people usually do, because like time, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm tired, so I can't be doing everything. So, but yes, that's also, you can't be like a student government. I mean, you could, but
you could be on your city council. I'm gonna write a petition to get
that's a lot of reading. I'm graduated for a reason.
A crosswalk in front of my apartment building so they can stop trying to run me over. But anyways, thank you guys for this discussion. And I'm going to pass it back over to Simone.
Next, we'll be moving on to our listener letter, so stay tuned.
If you made it this far, obviously you love this podcast. Do your favorite girls a favor and rate our show 5 stars and write a review. We're so appreciative of everyone and can't wait to bring you guys more content. Now let's get back to the show.
For this week's listener letter, we have a letter from
Beth.
Okay. We have a letter from Beth, and she says, I'm entering my last summer to be able to intern and have been receiving rejection after rejection. Do you all have any advice for staying positive and highlighting your worth to those companies or to these different companies to show that they should hire you?
Yes. Yes, I think taking a positive attitude. And I think, okay, so I went through a phase where I was in college. I don't know how old this person was, but I was applying to internships and I was stressed, right? It was junior year. I needed an internship. I was applying. I really wanted one in London. I went to the last round and they like declined me. And I was like, I had all my marbles there. And I was like, I need to find something to do. I cannot go back to Georgia. Like, I need to find something to do for the summer. And I kept getting a lot of rejections. But, you know, it really is about it's a game of perseverance, right? And I remember the lady rejected me for London, and I was so determined to say, you know, like, yeah, no, that I called and was like, can you please explain to me why, right? And I thought she was gonna say, you know, I can't HR, but she really did give me good advice. And sometimes you may catch those people, sometimes you might not, but asking, right, and then your any other opportunities. And a quote that I had on my wall for all junior year was that you only get in life what you have the courage to ask for. And so you really have to be scrappy, right? And I know that everyone's personality, I am definitely that way, but you have to be scrappy. You have to Google, find people, especially that look like you in that company, find them on LinkedIn, message them, because it's all a game of who you know, and do that. Like, even my job that I got now, I found the recruiter on LinkedIn, was able to find his email in some random document and emailed him, was like, I want to apply for this position that was not on the company website. And he was like, okay. And I actually got it, you know, went through. So I would say, one, you need to get feedback. You need to ask someone who's not going to be your yes person to read over your resume and make sure everything is tight and it's actually the job you have. Two is find someone at a company that you're about to apply to next. Go on LinkedIn, message them, talk to that person before. Say, even if you're not a recruiter, just someone that can be in your corner to say, yeah, you just say this, you just say that. And then two is you got to keep trying. And it's all about quantity, honestly, with type of stuff. You have to do mass applications. Like, I applied to so many internships. I got declined from all but two, but I only needed one yes. And that is really what it is. You have to be scrappy because it won't come by hopeful wishing. You have to change. Like, insanity, it's like the definition is like changing nothing by expecting the same result. If you can apply and get rejected, you need to ask someone who's going to give you the hard truth about why it's not working out. What's wrong with your resume? Let's rework it. Let's switch it up. You have to change. Honestly, your cover letter and resume should kind of alter depending on what job you're applying to. You should highlight different things for certain things because each job is different. But that is my thing. I went to internship. It was horrible. You have to apply a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm laughing, first of all, as you said, reach out to someone in the company. And I reached out to a lot, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't be responding because they be doing too much. Like, I'll do a conference and I get like 20 DMs. Like, I'm not responding to this on LinkedIn. It's too much. But eventually I do respond, you know, so I guess it is useful in some ways. But my advice would be for staying positive, you know, when you're applying to these jobs, it's really less about like I don't want to say it's less about your qualities, but like what you're bringing to the table in terms of like experience is not, it's not as important as you think it is. It is about fit. It is about like you get there and they're talking to you and they're seeing like, do they think you're going to be a good person? You know, and if your resume is not getting you in the door, like Elise says, something's wrong with your resume. I don't want to sound blunt about it, but typically something's off with the resume. And I've like had friends who will send me theirs and I'm like, oh, well, there's this could be something. Like a lot of times it is with your resume. Maybe see if there's someone that you can pay to really revamp your resume if you're not getting in the door. If you're getting rejected, I do agree with the whole talk to someone, practice interviewing with a friend who's like in a company or whatever, or where you want to be, and see what you could be doing wrong. See how you can fine tune your answers to be, you know, more of what your interviewer would be looking for. It's not, you know, it's not as much about you as a person, which is I think what I was trying to say earlier, as it is just like who's coming to that interview that day. You as a person could be the most qualified, you could be a great person, but if you're not answering the questions the way you need to be and you're not bringing the presence that you need, then you're not going to get the job. So I would stay positive in the sense of knowing like you are going to find a job. You remind yourself that you are qualified, but it really is about like in that moment what they're looking for. So you know, part of it is maybe that job's not for you, but maybe you could use some work in fine tuning your answers to, you know, the specific team or role that you're interviewing for.
Right.
And that would be my advice. Like, I think, you know, when you talk to these leaders nowadays, they're looking for, do I think this person's going to be a good fit? Do I think they're going to get along with their team? Not looking even as far as saying like, okay, excuse me, like, what was their GPA in college, those type of things. They're literally looking to say, are you going to be a good asset to our company? So I think that's why even more you can just try and practice like what you're saying in your interviews, and maybe like, not to drag on, but when I have interviews, I literally look up like questions for analyst positions at this company on Glassdoor. I look at people's answers that they've said, and I like literally will fine tune answers around that. But there are tricks to the trade, and that's what I would advise is like try to play a little bit. It's a game. It's all a game.
And then one last thing for Jordan, like I remember from college, right? And a lot of my friends were getting frustrated about not getting internships because they would apply to two and they wouldn't get it. And it really is a game of endurance, unfortunately. Like you have to say, if you get no's, you need to keep on going, right? And you always have options. You always need to always have, you know, feelers out there putting stuff out, because if you get rejected one or two times and you say, oh, I'm not going to get it, then you just don't do it. Also, you need to be realistic, right? Like it's kind of like how you have colleges. You need to have like a safety, a reach, and have different levels so that you're able to at least get one acceptance and say, okay, this is my safety. And I'm going to continue doing other stuff as well. And then also, if you do get an internship that you accept and then you want to cancel later, you can do that. I don't know if people don't think you can. Like, yeah, you can't. If you got an internship at like Coke per se, right? And then Pepsi offered you something for more money.
Yeah, because I definitely did it. I might have lied about my reasoning, but I definitely did it. And
right.
The same. So sorry to cut you off, but the same way that employer can call you and cancel your employment is the same way that you can call and cancel your internship. It's a game on both sides. You just have to learn how to play the game.
Just get a safety. Get a safety for right now. Find something that you know you can probably get, that you're overqualified for, and then you have that confidence, and then you can proceed on reaching for the next ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine is kind of actually, my advice is kind of opposite of what Elise was saying to a point, but basically it's just to do more quality applications than quantity, and like to consider, like, because the whole applying for jobs, internships, whatever, can be very stressful. And if you're adding on trying to do multiple things in one day, the quality obviously is going to be down, and then you're going to get burnt out from it too. So the advice that I got was like, focus on one company and illustrating that you're a fit for them, and consider that not interviewing process, but the whole application process and everything as a pre-employment period. So that's saying that like you're investing this time in pitching your solutions to the target companies. I'm definitely reading from something, but like spend your time investing in pitching your solutions to your target company's problems rather than focusing on the time you spent on each application. So being very thorough with your application, and taking the time to, like Elise said, to reach out to people, and also like Simone said, doing your research and finding out if it's a fit for you in the first place. Because even through the interview process is a two-way street. You need to figure out if this is going to be a good fit for you. Is this going to be somewhere that you can grow and all this stuff? So those rejections are probably not for you anyways. I mean, obviously, but like I'm just trying to say that like there's a U-sized what was I trying to say?
Role for you. There's a spacer role.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on.
Oh, it's in your thing. Okay.
Okay. There's a U-sized hole in that business somewhere that they're currently battling a problem for that they need you to fix. So I would just tell you, as somebody who's been applying, to just really take the time to really research what you want to do, what company that you want to work for, and being very diligent about applying to those specific positions only, and not really just applying to anything that you see. That would be my advice.
I know people who applied to Google and they were like, I didn't get Google. Did you read the requirements? Like they're not looking for people. If they say they need someone with supply chain experience and then you apply, you don't have supply chain experience, they're not going to give you an interview.
Yeah. So that was a good discussion. I enjoyed hearing about everyone's hobbies, how they're trying to figure out a life outside of work. I don't know, like it's hard, but I hope that we can all,
I'll let y'all know how my date with the rapper goes.
Okay. So I hope that we can all, just find ways to explore our little kid again and figure out the things that make us happy and invest in them. I think that it makes for a much more enjoyable life. So we will all be on that process together, and hopefully we'll have updates when we do sign up for our pottery classes or whatever. So to finish us off, if you guys enjoyed this week's episode, please go comment one of your favorite hobbies as a child under this week's Instagram post. Stay tuned. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.